story behind it. Like, if I would get rid of all the other trophies, but like that one I'd be like, let me tell you about the time when we were stuck at home for 4 months and I won against 200 and some odd people. Hey, Jen. We started filming. Oh. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me back on my channel today for another episode of No Coin Drop Required. I was just finishing up a game and taking a selfie for the Quarantopia Selfie League. If you haven't heard of this yet, then this episode is going to be a real treat because today my guest is Laura Fraley, who is currently the tournament director and organizer of the Quarantopia Selfie League. So before I spoil anything, because I had so much fun talking with Laura on this episode, let's go ahead and get right into it. Welcome! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we finally, like we talked about earlier, we've seen each other at shows, but never actually talked to each other. So, and plus you're not that far away either.
I'm like 8 hours.
Oh really? Okay. That's a little further than I thought.
I think it's a pretty long, well, I don't know. I mean, it's like the Penn Turnpike the whole time. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and I used to do the Turnpike all the time because I'm from Cleveland, so, and I basically grew up going to Pittsburgh, so like the Ohio Turnpike to Pittsburgh, and then, you know, it can be really boring though. It can be really boring.
Oh, it's so boring, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just never ending, and I don't know, every time I go to Pinburg, I'm the one who drives, so Clark just falls asleep, and it's last year it was like foggy and raining and it was the scariest experience of my life, but I would do it all again to have Pinburg back.
Yes, well, and like I said, you are the first person that I get to talk to, even though this is going to come out probably at the end of May, but you're the first person that I get to talk to about the news that was announced yesterday, that Pinburg 2020 has officially been canceled. Well, should we say postponed to 2021 or canceled?
It's been canceled.
Yeah.
It's a year. It's been canceled, but in a good way, it's been postponed because I get to keep my spot. So
I know that was the, you know, when I read it, you know, I saw the clip or the, you know, just the title, like Pinburg's been canceled. I was like, all right, now the question that everybody has is what's gonna happen with our spots? What's gonna happen with our tickets?
Right.
And so of course there was the stress of like, oh man, Pinburg's canceled, but then there was the, oh man, next year I don't have to stress out at all because I'm already in. Say, I'm already in, I don't need to worry about that, no wait list stressing or anything like that. So that's,
I know, it's such a selfish thought and I'm so happy about it anyway. I'm just like, yes. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to like,
no, you can't, it's okay, no, it's okay, I'll blur it out. It's not a big deal.
You can blur me out.
You know, obviously Pinburg itself is something that we're all gonna miss, but like what was something else you were really looking forward to during the time of Pinburg that, you know, you're like, oh man, I traditionally do that, or I always do that when I go there?
So during Pinburg, well, I mean, Pinburg is just the best part of Pinburg, but obviously I signed up for all the tournaments. This time I was gonna do Intergalactic. I've taken the last few years off from doing that because I was too busy. And I, of course, look forward to Whipped because it's awesome and a bunch of awesome women and just anything match play. I'm a competitive freak. I just really love to compete. So I think a couple years ago I did the Trash Talker Invitational because Mrs. Penn decided to bring me on as her ringer. It's like a podcaster battle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was banned after 2 years. Well, not banned. I don't want to say banned. Basically, it was a bit of chaos in Pinburg 2018 when they did it, and it's basically like a bunch of podcasters competing in their own little post-Pinburg tournament, and they get to bring in ringers to help them win these battles. And I was brought in as Mrs. Penn's ringer, Sarah's ringer, and you know, had to play against like Carl D'Angelo and all these people, and everybody's drunk, and then people. The point of it is you're supposed to.
Just do it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're supposed to talk.
Yeah, you're supposed to trash talk the people you're playing against, and that's just basically basically it. And it got a little out of hand, and I think it was not, I don't think it was banned.
It maybe just was disbanded.
But it was not permitted to happen the next year, which was last year. So, but it was fun, man. I don't even know, I got off on a tangent, so I'm not sure what question I was responding to. Oh, yeah, that was one of my favorite things that happened at Pinburg. And just, I don't know, I love hanging out with my friends, going to all the good, restaurants, eating all that delicious Pittsburgh food, meeting new people, seeing you lurking around and not introducing myself. No, it's all good. It's like the best time of the year. It's like Christmas for pinballers.
What restaurant are you going to miss the most this year?
Oh, definitely Jimmy John's.
You don't have Jimmy John's in Richmond?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I was like, of all restaurants in Pittsburgh, Jimmy John's?
No, it's actually funny that I even brought up restaurants because I ate every meal at Jimmy John's. It's complete garbage. But last year I was so stressed about like just being on time that I was just like, you know what? I don't eat food or real food. I'll just go to Jimmy John's and get a cheese sub, and that's fine. It's fine. And I just ate like 18 cheese subs throughout the weekend. That's pretty much all I did. There's a great Thai place. There are a couple different taco places. Yeah, obviously, my memory. I'm not going to be the best food reporter here.
No, that's the thing I always forget too. Like, I always hook up with my friend whenever I'm there. She lives in Pittsburgh, and she takes me to a restaurant, and she took us to one place last year, and I don't remember what it is, but apparently it was on some Food Network TV show. Ashley, I'm sorry if you're watching this. I don't remember what it is. But it was good.
Right, and there's the meatball place. That place is okay. And yeah, there are a lot of different places. I'm a vegetarian, so none of my food recommendations are going to appeal to anyone anyway.
I think that you'd be pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of people, at least in Columbus, that are vegetarians and vegans and, have dietary restrictions that, if you're looking for something, I'm sure they could probably recommend something for you. But me, on the other hand, no, I'm a carnivore, so there's got to be meat there.
I wish I was sometimes. Oh man, I miss meat. Yeah, I'm not like a weird stuffy vegetarian, but there's some barbecue place around there that is just like crazy good that people freak out over. But it's secret, and nobody will tell if they. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'll tap my friend in Pittsburgh and see if she can tell me what it is, because if it's a secret, I want to know about it.
No, you should contact Taylor Reese. I know he knows about it. The Slippin' Podcast, Taylor Reese. He's in Richmond with us, and it's like one of his spots. So you should just beg him to tell you.
Take me, please. I want to know the secret. I want to be.
It's amazing.
So you're in Richmond Pinball Collective. I know you've probably talked about this on other podcasts before, but now how long have you guys been playing?
Pinball Collective. So we opened. We're a physical spot.
Yeah.
So we opened up. Oh God. 3 years ago, pretty much to the day.
Happy anniversary?
Happy
anniversary?
Thanks, I didn't even think about it because we are closed AF, but it's been like 3 years of weirdness and awesomeness.
But you're adapting really well, because talk to me about the Quarantopia Selfie League. How did that idea come about?
Well, that's a sign of me not adapting well, actually, because I just miss competition so much. So at the collective, we always had just leagues, several times a week, and we had several home leagues. I think I belonged to 4 different leagues. Then we had a selfie league on top of that, where we had a finals, and then we had tournaments like at least once a month that usually I directed. I love directing tournaments. And all of that ended. And it wasn't really so much the social, I don't know. I guess it was a little bit of the social aspect of it, but I just really love competing. So even though I'm not very good, but yeah. So the selfie tournament came about as I was drinking my coffee on a Saturday morning, probably 5 weeks ago or whenever it started. I guess it wasn't that long ago. 3, 4. I don't know, Jen.
It was like all the days days run together. I get it. I don't know what day it is either.
They really do. I actually decided to not wear pajamas for this interview, so.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
I feel so special.
Yeah.
I also got ready today, so I blow dried my hair.
I brushed my hair. You can't tell, but I did. Yeah, so I was just sitting on the couch. Well, I guess first off, I did actually go to Tilt Forums and ask, hey, anybody doing a selfie league or some kind of league in quarantine? And I got like 2 responses, and one was like a message board, like, go to this message board and submit your scores if you want. And I was like, well, that's really cool that they're doing that, but that's not really what I have in mind. And I wasn't going to create anything. I just, really wanted to play competitive pinball. And so I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm like, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this myself. It's only going to be my friends in Richmond. I know 4 of us that have Harlems. Like 4 of us have Maidens. Like I really just want to compete against somebody. So we all have Harlems. Let's just compete. And then I started it without even thinking about any kind of rules or scoring situation or how this wouldn't work over the fact that we're not all playing the same machines. So, and then people just kept joining, and my German friend Tobias shared it in Europe, and I was like, oh no, don't do that. He did. And like now I've got like 10 to 15 countries competing in there, and I know a lot of them because I've been to, one tournament in Germany, which one tournament in Germany is actually like 15 tournaments in Germany because it's 15 tournaments crammed into like a weekend. But I made a lot of friends there. Anyway, he shared it, and I don't know, it's just kind of, I don't want to say blown up because it's like 245 people, but it's more than I would have expected.
I was gonna say, if you don't consider that blowing up, then because that was the next question that I was gonna ask. I know when I saw last you were at 230, so you're at 245 now.
Yeah, the registration is slowing down, but I just submitted a bunch of selfies to Zach Sharp, so maybe he'll like help me a little bit. Help me out here, Zach. Not that I really need it. I mean, there are no Whoppers involved. It's 245 people that are playing for no Whoppers, which I didn't know that many people existed. Especially men. No offense, men.
I think that's freaking awesome because I know when, I think it was shared on Bells Worldwide that, was when when you shared it on Bells Worldwide, and I was like, ooh, I gotta share this on my Bells page. And, and then it just, everybody, and I still see people are like, hey, can you add this machine? Can you do this? So talk to me about like what the format is and how it actually works.
So once I realized that it was more than 20 people, and my friend Taylor started asking rules questions because that's what Taylor does. And I'm a big rules person myself, so he and I kind of bond over the rules situation. I love just analyzing the Papa rules and all that fun stuff. So I was like, people aren't playing the same machines, so this format that is in match play doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that someone would get 100 points for a game that only they own. Baby Pac-Man, they play it one time, get a score of 10,000 or what. I don't even know what a Baby Pac-Man good score is, but and then they have like 500 points for that game, and that's not going to work. So I had to devise a format in my head where it was like, you get points for the people you beat. So it doesn't matter what games you own. It helps if you own games that are more popular. There's really no way that I can avoid this, but you get 1 point for every person you beat on the best 5 games that you play. So if you beat 7 people on Attack from Mars, your score is 7 from on Attack from Mars, and so on and so forth. Your best 5 count, add them all together, you get a trophy. You get no Whoppers.
At this point, it's all about the hardware, right?
Right, exactly. I've got Angela Dropco designing the trophies because I just didn't feel qualified to make them. So she's awesome. She's from Pittsburgh, and she makes badass, weird trophies. So, I mean, it's a weird time. We need a weird trophy.
Exactly. It wouldn't be, and to be completely, unfortunately, I don't have 5 games, so I know there's no way that I'm going to win it, but like, that would be one of my favorite. Probably not.
How many games do you have?
Let's be real. I have 1. So let's be real for a second.
Well, you picked the right one.
Thank you. But that would be like, that's some of my favorite trophies that I have are from events that just had no Whoppers in it. It's all about just like the fun that you have behind it. And I do think that it would, you know, whoever wins, actually I'm gonna ask that in a second, but whoever wins is gonna be like, this is, you know, there's such a story behind it. Like, if I would get rid of all the other trophies, but like that one, I'd be like, let me tell you about the time when we were stuck at home for 4 months and I won against 200 and some odd people. Like, that would be my, like, it would be such a great story. So who's in the lead right now?
I have no idea. And you know why? Because I can't determine it until I know how many people that everyone beat. So basically, Andreas, oh gosh, I'm going to totally screw up his last name. It's like, the creator of Match Play, Andreas, my buddy, who I've never met, he is going to help me out at the end of it with a spreadsheet that helps me determine the winner more easily, because I can tell you who is doing well. I mean, there are a lot of people that are really doing well, and it's those that have really popular machines, like World Cup Soccer and ASM, and also have the high score in the group on that, which is hard to get. The more people you have to play, it's harder to get that number 1 score. But, I mean, if you're in a lot of the games have like 13 to 15 different people who own those machines, so if they are at the top, they're going to have 13 points for that game. Right. Which is significant. And then if you've got 5 really popular machines, you're doing pretty well. But honestly, there's no way for me to check and see who's in the lead. And I think that this is an interesting twist, because a lot of people like to know how they're doing when they're playing, and they all have no idea. They know that they're doing okay, but they don't know if there's someone in there that has 5 different machines that they don't have, that has more players and has beat more players on them. So it's not really about, I mean, just play your hardest, play your best. Don't worry about like how many points you have. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's gonna take me like a week to figure out the results.
So is there any games where there's only like one person who owns that game?
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of them. There's lots of them. You know, a lot of them will, you know, there are a couple people, well, there are people that have games that will like play against their spouses, which is kind of cute. So I see it as little exchanges of like, they're the only people that have this game, but they get to go on there and still go back and forth and continue to beat each other, which is, it's pretty cute. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely some games that only one person owns, and the point is to just add it in there, and maybe more people will join, and maybe someone will see that you have that game. I mean, there are like 4 players on Trident. You wouldn't have thought that like that 4 people that I happen to have somehow connected with in some way would own a Trident, but
it's on there. So so the moral of the story is, if you have a game, who cares if anybody else has it? Just submit it and have a good time.
Yeah, and I'll post like top honors on all games too. I mean, you're not getting a trophy because I can't make that many trophies or order that many trophies, but I will post top honors for anyone who's played a game with anyone else, any other human being. You will be the winner of that game. Are you
gonna give out participation ribbons as well? Everybody who participated in the Selfie League, you get a ribbon.
It's like you're reading my mind here. It's frankly a little
creepy.
Troubling. I don't even believe in participation awards, but I give them out to my bells because I did it one time and then they wouldn't let me not do it again. So it was like, here are 3 giant dinosaur trophies. Oh, and then here is a bag of plastic dinosaurs. And they all have little star stickers with numbers on them. And I think you were number 11. Here we go. But yeah, no, I can't not do it anymore. So they all get trophies now.
We give out we call it the best place trophy, and it's whoever is last. So like we usually get like first tournament, like a first one, and then sometimes with leagues, obviously first, second, third. But then we always have best place, and best place is last place. There was one we did, I forget what the format was. I think it was when we were doing our Derby one last year, where it was like in honor of like the Kentucky Derby, and it was like a race to the number of points. And the best place was the half of a horse's ass trophy.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I know our last place girls, we have multiple, I mean, there's a different person in last every season. And I know that they would appreciate that because we were just doing it for fun and we have a blast. But I can see myself ending up in last and being like, go to hell with your stupid. I would be so mad.
That's why we call it the best place and not last place.
I know, I'm so competitive though.
I would be the same way too. I would be the same way. I would, like, if I got it once, it'd be really funny. I'm like, haha, that one time I got last in a tournament. But then if I got it again, I would be like, all right, something's wrong here. Like,
something is definitely wrong.
I do want to transition, and I do want to talk about your experience on Jack Danger last week. Because was that the first time you'd ever been on his stream?
That was the first time I have ever been on his stream, and I basically begged for that because, I mean, Jurassic Park, so. Like, I have one. We have streaming equipment. I want in. Are you part of the ladies' commentary stream?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
Yep.
So, Jack and I have actually never met in person. I've seen him around, and I'm just like, that's Jack Danger.
See him towering over everybody because of how tall he is.
Like, maybe any other time I'll introduce myself. Here's where my introvert comes in.
Okay.
Like, I'll introduce myself another time, and he probably thinks I'm a jerk, but maybe not.
So Jack, if you're watching, Laura's not a jerk. She wants to meet you.
He doesn't have time to watch because he's like constantly doing stuff, and I respect him so hard for that. Like, I wasn't like a huge Dead Flip fan/watcher because I just never had the time. But I have been following him for about a year and just watching his like work ethic. Like, the guy does not stop. He's constantly like, do you ever take a day off? Like, he's constantly just like, what should we do tonight? I'm going to build a pinball machine. I'm going to, tell you how to build a pinball machine. I'm going to tell you how to stream. I'm going to, what do you, like, he's just like, internet, what do you want? And it's like, he'll do whatever you want. Like, the guy is freaking, I don't
He's a machine. He's a machine, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I will introduce myself to him in Pinburg 2021.
I did watch the stream on for Jurassic Park because JP is one of, I do enjoy that game. It was a toss-up for me between Iron Maiden and Jurassic Park when I was choosing.
It's not a toss-up. You got the right game, girl.
But, there was just, the thing for me, the hardest thing for me is that, like, I'm actually a huge Iron Maiden fan. Like, I didn't really grow up with Iron Maiden. I wasn't introduced to Iron Maiden until I was in high school. And I actually saw Iron Maiden a week after I graduated high school at the same place where I graduated high school from. So, and I just remember I was probably like one of the youngest people that was there. And there was like some guy that was standing next to me and he's like, you want to burn? And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Because I was like, I'm not a huge weed person. Props to anybody who does. I don't disown it. But like, I was just like, well, I've never heard.
Weed person by the fact that you said I'm not a huge weed person.
Well, I'm like, well, when somebody called, like, but first of all, like, high school for me was 12 years ago, like when I graduated, but who calls it burn? Like, does anybody call it burning nowadays, or is that like?
I'm not a smoker.
Yeah. So if you are, does anybody call it? I don't think anybody calls it burning anymore. I think that was like a huge.
Let's just call them weed people.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that was like an 80s term, or even maybe like a 70s term, but he was like, do you want to burn it? And I looked at him and I'm like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, do you want to smoke some weed? I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. The dare told me to say no.
That's right, dare keep kids off drugs.
So to me, like, I'm very drawn to it because I love the music, but also it's like, it's such a great design, and like I love the rule set. But also, like Jurassic Park was straight up like, I was raised on Jurassic Park. Like, I've watched like 1, 2, and 3, you know, all of them. I've read the books, like, I played the video games.
I read the You're like a Michael Crichton fan.
Well, I like Jurassic Park. I was like, I want to be a paleontologist when I grow up, and everyone's like, no.
Be a paleontologist.
Should have done it. Should have, would have, could have. Like,
we're both in insurance. We both wanted to be paleontologists. We both failed.
Yes, we failed. Maybe that's what we should do now. Maybe we should both just go back to school and like get our degree in paleontology online. But like, yeah, so like Jurassic Park, like the theme also like drew to me as well. But I'm like, all right, which one do I feel like I am gonna play more? And Iron Maiden is one because just I vibe with Iron Maiden a lot more. So like that's why I like went towards that one. But both games equally as great, I would say.
Well, I don't know. I have them both, so they're both great. Obviously, Keith is going to say that Jurassic Park is better than Maiden. But Maiden, I don't know. Maiden enamored me from the start. Before I even knew that guy, I played Maiden in a bar, and I was like, I have to have this. And Clark got it for me. Well, didn't get it for me, but made it happen within a week. A Maiden was in our house.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was, friggin' loved that game. And I was never a fan of the music, not like against it or.
Yeah, you just weren't into it. No, I get it.
I just wasn't into it. I never really listened to it. And now I know all the songs, of course, at least all the top, 10 or 12 songs that are in that machine. But yeah, that game is just, it's so great. The shots are wonderful. The fact that you could just like give it a little boop when it's coming around to the left upper flipper and then like knock down all the drops, like sweep them down.
Do that nice little like up nudge, like right when it comes down off the flipper.
Yes, exactly. And Greg Pavarelli told me about that. Like, I've been playing it for a month or so, and Greg Pavarelli was like, just give it a little boop. Well, he didn't say boop because I'm the only person who says boop, and he's very manly, and he would never say boop. But he was like, just give it a little nudge, when it's coming around, and you might like knock down all the drop targets. And I did that. Now I've never stopped. I'm obsessed with that game. I love it so much. And Icarus is such a B, but man, when you can get those like combos going, it's just a nice feeling. I love Jurassic Park so much. And that
was my first thing that I did. With the first day that I got the table, I've literally played like 15 games in a row. I'm like, I'm nailing down these ramp shots. Like, I've never had the opportunity to just hammer out these ramp shots because it's so difficult, but it's so satisfying, like you said, when you get those combos. Like, yeah, one right after the other. It's just
every shot in that game is super satisfying. Like, there's no shot that isn't satisfying. Even like the easiest shot of the game, which depending on who you talk to, is either the center ramp or the left orbit. Both of those are still satisfying. Like, and getting the loop shot and getting the super jackpot, drop target shot, all nice. The orb.
So did you try and get on the stream for Iron Maiden then with Danger?
No, I didn't. I saw it, but I did not. We had just gotten our streaming gear, and I think I asked Clark about it, and he was not prepared to set it up. Like, I'm technically not going to be able to be the person who sets up the stream. It's my streaming equipment. It was given to me for my birthday 2 years ago from him because I asked for it, but I can't set up stuff like that. I'm technically impaired. So if he's not willing to do it or can't do it, then we barely made this one work. Like, I think our sound was off.
It looked fine. When I was watching it, it looked fine. But I'm gonna ask about it. I'm gonna ask about it. You know exactly what's coming. The infamous. Is this the way I'm supposed to do it? Is this?
Well, we're reverse here. It's like this.
Okay. So wait. So it's got to be like this. It's got to. All right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Deborah Tallman and I I should call her Debbie or Deb here because she hates that. So, but she said,
Sniff your elbow.
Snip your elbow and point up to the stars or something like that. I mean, I don't consider inner elbow an elbow. This is my elbow. So I'm trying to sniff it. I'm trying to do exactly what you said. Deborah, you failed me. And we are no longer friends. I'm just kidding. I love you, Deborah.
So, but all right, but so after you like finally found out what it actually was, where you're like, oh, is that what it's called?
It
Like,
took me like 2 hours to figure out
okay.
what it actually was. I was very confused. And I texted my friends and I was like my non-pinball girlfriends. And I was like, you guys know what a dab is? And they were like, yes. And apparently, I don't know, I just missed the memo somewhere. But
all right, so what's this gonna be called? What are we calling this now? You gotta coin the term now, because every time I get a good shot at Pinburg in 2020, I'm doing this. I'm doing
reverse dab, according to the people who are watching on Twitch. Reverse dab.
See, that's not as fun. You gotta name it. Like, it's got.
I'm naming it because I want it to go away.
Oh, no. I'm sorry that I brought it up.
It's okay. You're cute, and I will let you get away.
Oh, thank you.
Deborah is on my list.
I loved it though. I honestly, like, me being such a clumsy person and like also not knowing about, I don't know about pop culture like whatsoever. So if somebody's like dab, I would have been like, oh, like I would have done something like, I'm like, I don't know what a dab means. Like, T-Rex. Oh, that's the T-Rex. Gotcha. Yeah, I would have done something but then I would have played off and been like, that's my version of it. Take it or leave it. It is what it is.
Oh, you're awesome. Yeah, you need to get a Harlem Globetrotters and go on Jack's stream on Friday.
Oh, yes. I will make that happen in the next 2 days.
It's probably like $1,500, $2,000 maybe.
I'll use that stimmy check. No worries. All the money I'm saving by not going to Pinburg.
Right? Are we getting that back? No.
Yeah, no.
You don't want one. No, actually, it's a great game, but like that, I feel like I don't know. What is your next favorite game?
See, well, I love the spinners, like the 2 spinners on Harlem Globetrotters. I love a game with good spinners. Like, and I feel like it's just so satisfying when you get both those spinners going at once. And
yeah, nobody goes for those spinners.
Yeah, I know, and I do remember though, and I'll have to look back and see, because I remember playing in Cincinnati last year, and I was on Harlem Globetrotters, and I remember I was doing so bad, and it was the Amazing Race format. So I went into ball 3, and I needed like a ridiculous score. And I somehow like came back and got it. And I remember Scott V, he was like, oh, you gotta come over here, you gotta talk about it. He sat down, he's like, all right, so what was your strategy? And I was like, I don't know. I really honestly don't know Harlem Globetrotters whatsoever. I was like, I just kept hitting stuff. Like,
yeah, some of the best games I've had on Harlem are games where I just flipped every single time. Just, if you see the ball, just flip. Do not scissor. But that's not my strategy generally. I do know how to tap pass now, thanks to that game. But, I mean, it's like the game that will teach you how to tap pass. But, I mean, half the time you play on the fly and you just do much better than when you try to overly focus on that game.
Yeah, I get in my head a lot, so I will overthink everything every single time, especially with the Amazing Race format. Have you played that format before?
I have not. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm excited to like Google it or something.
All right, I'll let you Google it, and we can talk. Yeah, you can Google it, and we can talk about it. And we'll talk about it at a different time. I won't spoil it for you, but I can tell you it's such a different format because you're not trying to get the best score, you're just trying to beat the lowest score. So when you're like, oh yeah, I only need 5 million on Deadpool, I can do that, you get in your head a lot. Because, you know, you think 5 million on Deadpool, that's not that high of a score, and then you go in and you mistakenly choose Mystique, and, you know, you get screwed. Like, So
so you pass through. If you see, you kind of have to tell me about the format now.
Okay.
Maybe it's your show.
Yeah, no. I can tell you about it. Not a big deal. So the way that the Amazing Race works is you've got, let's just say, a lineup of 8 games. So your first game you have, and I'm just gonna go with by what I know at a level 1, and that's Addams Family. So you have the first person go up, they play Addams Family, they put up a score of, let's just say, 24 million. So that's the score you have to beat. So the next player goes up, they play Addams Family, and if they beat 24 million, they move on to Deadpool. And if they don't, then whatever their score is the score to beat, and then the person who played before them moves on to the next game. So basically, you're just trying to beat the lowest score that's on the game.
Okay.
So it's a lot of anxiety, because if you go in and there's 8 players that play after you, and you've got a score of like 100 million on Attack from Mars, you're like, well, I'm out. Like, you know, that's a crappy game. But it's pinball. Anything can happen.
Cool. Yeah,
Anything can happen.
I'm gonna have to steal that format from you guys.
It's a really.
Fun.
I've played it. I know that Evan Bingham has been doing the Amazing Race. This year, which is supposed to be at the end of August, will be, I think, the 4th or 5th year he's been doing it. And they do a women's only pre-show the Friday before, and then they do qualifying for the Amazing Race, and then so women's is on Friday, and then he does a qualifying on Saturday, and then finals is on Sunday. So it's a fun format. It's a really.
That sounds awesome. You guys in Ohio have your own crazy stuff going on.
When all this lifts up, when you're like, yes, we can finally go out, we can finally, like, what non-pinball place are you looking forward to trying to go into the most?
Well, you said non-pinball, and that threw me off.
Yeah.
I was so excited about telling you my pinball place that I wanted to go to.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Non-pinball place. So I have a handful of non-pinball friends, which I know that it's kind of difficult for people to maintain those friendships when they're obsessed with pinball. And we always, go out of the country on trips. So I don't know what place, whatever country we choose, I think. We had a great time in Ireland together. We went to Italy together. We went to Croatia together. Sometimes we have to bring our husbands. Sometimes we don't. And I would love to have a girls' trip with just my girls when this is all over. So I don't know where. Like, any country is fine with me. Like, I love traveling, so pretty much anywhere.
You were super excited to answer the question of, like, where pinball-wise you were excited to do. So where pinball-wise are you excited excited to go once all this lifts up?
Yeah, so Jen and I have been having some drinks for like 30 minutes in between. So that is why Jen may not be 100% right now. No. Yeah.
I don't drink. What are you talking about?
No. So, basically, Fulda, Germany, the Midsummer Open, or the Pinball Olympics. Clark and I went to the Midsummer Open last October, and it was the best experience that I've had outside of Pinburg. And honestly, I don't know if it tops Pinburg or not. It might. It was the most magical competitive experience I've ever had. Tobias Vagaman, who is the tournament director at Bulls and Balls in Fulda, is just like the best person. I had met him online before because we were the only Americans that were going to the so I met him online. I was like, tell me all about your tournament, because I wanted to go to the EPC, but I couldn't do that because my assistant had vacation that day. So I was like, I need to find another tournament in Europe. I want to get out of the country. I want to play pinball out of the country. That is my only goal. And we found this little tournament, Midsummer Open in Fulda, Germany, which is like in the west of Germany. In the west, yes. It's about an hour from Frankfurt. We lost you, Jen. Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, we're good.
So, we flew into Frankfurt, and we took a train about an hour east to Fulda and showed up there, and of course nobody knew who we were, and everyone is like nobody I have ever met before, so it's like the opposite of going into Pinburg. It's just like a bunch of strangers, and I'm just like, where's Tobias? Where's the only person I've talked to online? Like, I know who he is, like, and you know, of course he like comes out and he like starts the first tournament, and I'm just like all nervous to meet him or whatever. And oh my god, like I can't even tell you. There were like 15 tournaments that weekend. One was a Midnight Madness, which I did not go to because apparently I was recommended. It was told to me, like, do not go to this or you will not be able to come in at 10 a.m. and do the tournament that really matters. So, I mean, there were just so many tournaments, and they're all worth a ton of Whoppers because every player is ranked under 500. Like, we were like just people bringing down the Whopper count there. Like, everyone is ranked super high. It's all these, like, crazy, just awesome players, and you don't hear about them because here we are in our own little bubble in America, and, like, you just don't hear about these, like, freaking, like, Peter Anderson, which you maybe heard about him. He's ranked 5th in the world, but also I think he's from Denmark, and he was there, and I had never heard of him before. Like, you hear about, like, Steve Bowden and Keith Ellen and all these
Raymond Davidson, you know,
right.
like, yeah.
But, like, Peter Anderson is a friggin' beast, and I had to play Johannes Ostermeyer on a game sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I can't remember what game we played. The wrestling game, I think.
WWE?
Yes, I'm drinking too much. He obliterated me. Like, it was one of my first games in one of the 13 to 15 tournaments that we played, and they're like, you're going to be paired with him, and I couldn't even focus on playing the game because everyone started to crowd around him on ball 1. He was tearing it up, and I'm like, I have to play ball 1 also, and ball 2 and ball 3 with these people watching, knowing that I'm going to lose. It was so embarrassing.
Quarantopia Selfie League ends on May 31st. So if I want to join the Quarantopia Selfie League, where can I do that at?
So you would just type in Quarantopia.
You don't have to spell it, girl. You don't have to spell it. I'll put it in the link. I'll put it in the link in the description.
Awesome.
We've had enough where no spelling. No spelling.
You made me drink half bottle wine, so I'm trying.
I didn't make you do anything.
We're gonna be best friends.
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
So you can, just search for Quarantopia. Spell it like it sounds, and the match play link is in the description. And there are some rules, not very many, but there are a few.
Don't cheat. She will kick you out. Yes. There has been a few people that have been kicked out, so don't cheat. She'll know. Okay. There's only been one person that has been kicked out. But I do have to say though, and we'll put it right, wait. Who's been the best selfie? The best selfie so far, because we'll put it right here.
Oh, man.
We'll put it right here.
Oh, well, I will send it to you. I don't know. There's so many good ones. Man, it's really tough. Like, Jen X sent me one yesterday that was him wearing a stormtrooper.
I saw that.
For the duration of his Black Knight sort of rage game. That was pretty awesome. And then when he took, like, he posted a video, which made it even better because his face was so red when he took off the stormtrooper.
Ooh.
And I was like, man, you...
Any final thoughts that you have or anything that you want to convey to the masses before we wrap things up?
I have zero final thoughts except I really like you, Jen. You're awesome. Thank you so much for having.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining me. I definitely know, I can tell, and may not put this in or not, but like we're gonna talk offline after this is over for a little bit. For a little bit. So.
Blow up some maiden.
Oh yes, but yes, Laura, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everything that you do with the Selfie League, the Quarantopia Selfie League. Like I said, if you're interested in joining that, I'll make sure to put a link in the description to not only the Facebook, but also the match play. And if you don't see a game that's on there, don't be afraid to submit it, because she will add it on there, and you might earn some great points from it. So, thank you, Laura, again, for everything that you do, especially with the fact that, like, it's you solely, like, doing this league. And I cannot wait to see the trophies. And if you want, we can talk offline about if you want me to do some participation ribbons, because I can do that for you.
Maybe we will.
Yeah.
Maybe we will.
I can do that for you. I mean, I would feel guilty taking one of my own participation ribbons, but like,
no, you can't give away your own participation ribbon.
No, I would be weird. It's like when you organize a tournament and you win the tournament. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you organize a tournament, then you.
No, you did participate.
I did. I submitted
Score.
2 or maybe 2. There was a lot involved in I was maybe a little bit intoxicated that night, but it was a good score. Thank you so much for joining me. I had so much fun.
I had so much fun. Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to see you, hopefully soon. Like I said, as soon as things let up, I'd love to come down and do like a follow-up episode at Richmond Pinball Collective. With you and Clark. We can play together. And I'll bring James.
We can just go to Germany.
Or we can just go to Germany. We'll just go to Germany. That'll be it. We'll just go to Germany. So you can see like me and, that'll be a great video. Me and Laura's adventures in Germany.
Yes. We'll meet for the first time IRL in Germany.
In Germany.
I will pick you up in my Tesla at the German Frankfurt airport, and we will cruise over to Fulda. It's going to be great.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. All right, well, Laura, I'll say cheers to you. I can't wait to drink a little bit more with you, but thank you so much for joining me, and thank you again for all that you do.
All right, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Laura, for joining me for this week's episode. I had so much fun talking to you, and I cannot wait to meet you in person. If you have more questions about the Quarantopia Selfie League, please feel free to click on the link in the description to the Facebook event as well as the match play. As always, if you liked the video that you saw, don't forget to hit that like button, as well as don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you know when new videos get posted. Until next time, or maybe sooner, we'll see you later. Bye!